Everyone, this is Lalita Singh and you are going to study science with me in class 7. Today we are going to discuss our third chapter that is called fibers. This is our very first video on this topic. Okay, today we are going to learn about fibers and fabrics, about animal fibers, wool, from fiber to wool, occupational hazard of wool industry, silk from cocoon to silk, and occupational hazard of silk industry. Okay, see over here. What is this? This is a dress. Okay, we need dress to cover our body to protect us from heat, cold, rain. Okay, but think about how do we get this cloth? Where this cloth has come from? By the way, have you ever tried to pull any thread out of your dress? Okay, the threads are called fibers. Okay, and these are the fibers which are kept together to make thread, and from this thread we are going to make different kind of fabric. Understood? Clothes are made of fiber. In your previous classes you have already learned about plant fibers and little bit about animal fibers as well. Right now in this class we will learn more about animal fibers. The property of fiber basically depend upon the source from where they are obtained. Okay, first of all, fibers is obtained from a source which is then spun into yarn, and then this yarn is used to woven a cloth or a fabric. Okay, so basically based on the sources, the fiber can be of plant origin or can be of animal origin. You can see over here, this is the sheep from which we get fleece, from fleece to wool, wool to woolen cloth, and which we can wear and enjoy our winter. Clear? So basically the one which we are going to get from plant are known as animal fiber or fibers of animal origin. These are wool, silk, okay, and these are formed of protein. Whereas if we are talking about fibers from the plant origin, they are basically formed from cellulose. Example, cotton, jute. About them you have already studied in previous classes. Now beside this natural fibers which we can get from plant or animal, we are also having man-made fiber, and which is also known as synthetic or artificial fiber. Example, rayon, nylon, polyester, acrylic, etc. These synthetic fibers or artificial fibers are made from the petrochemical substances. Okay, whereas the plant or animal origin fibers are made from natural fibers. Okay, so we will start with the animal fiber. We are going to study about them in this class. So basically wool and silk, these are the two fibers that we are going to talk about in this chapter. Okay, you know that fibers are used to prepare clothes. If we are using wool to prepare the cloth, it will be woolen cloth. If we are using silk to prepare the cloth, it will be called silken cloth. Okay, so first let's talk about wool. See, these are the animals: sheep, angora goat, cashmere goat, yak, alpaca, llama, angora rabbit, Bactrian camel. So these are the animals which give us wool. So these animals are called wool yielding animal. Okay, these animals are the one which provide us with wool. Hence they are called wool yielding animal. Understood? The wool is yarn or woven from the underhair of these animals which are having soft fur or fleece. Now the question arises, what is underhair? See over here. This is a sheep and this is the way the hair is. You can see the upper rough brush of hair, this part. Okay, these are kind of rough in texture. This part, the whitish hair part that you are seeing, they are kind of rough in texture. They are called coarse beard hair. They are called coarse beard hair. Now see the lower part, it is kind of dense and they are not damaged, they are kind of soft to touch. Okay, this fiber is known as under hair. Okay, this is called fine under hair. This under hair part is used to prepare the wool, okay, or to prepare the woolen cloth. Okay, now activity number 1. See, collect picture of few animal. Those hair are used as wool and prepare a scrapbook. Try to find out the type of wool obtained from each of them. Means you have to collect the pictures of these animal and then you will write about the type of fiber we are getting from them and what are the qualities of the fiber. Clear? Wool obtained from different animal. We are having different kind of animal to get the wool. We are not only getting it from sheep. There are goat, rabbit, yak, llama, alpaca. There are many animals from whom we can get this wool. Why? Because they are practically living in a very cold place. To cover their body, to protect their body from cold, they are having long hairs, which is useless for them during summers. Okay, it is useful during only winter. So during summer we can take the hairs away from them to prepare the woolen cloth. Okay, so first we will look about sheep. Sheep has two type of hair that form fleece. The outer coarse hair is known as skin, whereas the undercoat is very fine soft hair. You can see this is the skin and this is the two type of hair present over here. The outer hair is kind of rough in texture because they are present on the outer surface though, so they get continuously rubbed in dirt, grasses, etc., so they become little bit rough, whereas the inner hair, which is very much protected and kind of dense as well, this hair is known as undercoat hair. See over here, under hairs. Okay, so these are more useful in making the good quality wool. Okay, now if we talk about goat, wool is also obtained from the undercoat of goats. Kashmiri goat yield pashmina. Pashmina wool, which is used to make pashmina shawl. Okay. Angora wool is also obtained from the Angora goat. And these goats are reared in Jammu and Kashmir. You know that the climatical condition in Jammu Kashmir is kind of very cold. So to protect their body from cold, they are having long hairs. See over here, this is Angora goat and this is Kashmiri goat. Both of them are having very long hairs, and these hairs, the undercoat hairs which we are going to use, are very fine and very soft in texture as well. This is used to make Kashmiri wool is known as pashmina wool. Okay, it is used to make pashmina clothes, and Angora wool is going to provide us Angora wool. Okay, now from Angora rabbit, over here we are also having Angora rabbit. Angora rabbit also provide us wool of white color. You can see the fur of this rabbit is of white color. It is very fine quality of wool. Okay, and from yak, see over here, it is kind of black in color. Yak also provide us wool that could be brown or blackish in color. Yak occur in Tibet and Ladakh. Okay, so the hairs of these animals we are using to make the wool. Over here you can see alpaca and llama. Okay, they are found in South America and they belong to camel family. See, they look like little bit like camel because they are from the camel family. They have very soft fine hair. The yarn are spun from the fleece of these animals. They are very soft and warm. That is why they are very useful and kind of costly as well. See over here, we are having a table to understand more about the breeds of sheep which is present in India and what kind of quality of wool we are getting from them. For example, Rampur Share provide us brown fleece, which is distributed in Uttar Pradesh and Himachal Pradesh. Whereas Nali provide us with carpet wool, which is present in Rajasthan, Haryana and Punjab. Okay, now see over here. Lohi also provide us good quality wool, which is also we are obtaining from Rajasthan and Punjab. Bakarwal provide woolen shawl, and it is distributed in Jammu and Kashmir. Patnavadi, Hoishri quality of wool, and it is present in Gujarat, whereas Marwari provide us coarse wool, and it is also from Gujarat. Now, activity 2. Activity 2 is about showing the different kind of wool yielding sheeps found in India with the help of map of India. Okay, you have to take a map of India showing its different state, and then you will mark the different area with different color to represent the presence of type of sheep. Okay, use different color to represent the location of different wool yielding animal, including sheep. Now, how do we get the wool from these animal? There are certain processes that we follow to get good quality wool from the fleece of the animal. Fleece means the hair present on the body surface of the animal, which we say, okay, is known as fleece. The process of yielding wool from this wool yielding animal have several steps. For example, the first one is rearing and breeding, then shearing, then washing, then shorting, carding, dyeing, spinning, and then later on it weaves together to form a woolen cloth. Okay, so we will learn about all these steps one by one. The first one is rearing and breeding of sheep. See over here, it is a sheep. Okay, if you want to have good quality of wool from the sheep, so obviously you have to select a sheep which is having good quality hairs or fleece. For obtaining good quality of wool, sheeps with thick coat of soft under hair are selected and controlled or selectively breed. Okay, selectively breed means we know that the characteristic of offspring always resembles to the parents. Understood now? So if if we are in need of good quality wool, then we will select the parents with good quality of hair as well. If both of the parents are having good quality of hair, then obviously the offspring will also have good quality of hair. So we select a animal which is having very fine soft textured undercoat hairs. Okay, sheep are reared in many part of our country. You may have seen herd of sheep. Herd means a group of number of sheep for grazing in the countryside of Jammu and Kashmir. It is very common seen over there. Now Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim, they are also having good amount of sheep reared over there. Basically, the sheep are fed with protein rich supplement. Why? Because the hair, okay, it is the hair part of the sheep which is very important for us, and hairs are proteinous in nature. So to have a good amount of healthy fleece, we need to provide them a food which is rich in protein supplement. So they fed on grass and leaf, but also given mixture of corn, pulses, jowar and oil cake. Understood? So when the sheep develop and have a good thick hairs and long hairs, the fleece is shaved from their body. After obtaining the sheep hair, the further process is of turning them into wool or woolen fabric involve the following step, which is given over here. The first step is shearing. Shearing means shaving the fleece of the animal. See over here, this is a sheep whose hair has been shaved like this. The process of shaving the body of a sheep for obtaining the fleece is known as shearing. So this is the process of shearing. The shorn sheep is immediately dipped into antiseptic solution. The reason? To prevent any kind of infection, skin infection. because these ships are very very important because they are having good quality of hairs on their body. Okay, so while shaving, it may be possible that there is a small certain cut on the body surface of there. So prevent any kind of infection, they are dipped into an antiseptic solution. Okay, and about how many times the body of the ship has been shaved, basically we need longer hairs, and the ships are also in need of those hairs during winter to protect their body from cold. So we only shave it once a year. Okay, the body of ship is shaved only once a year, mostly in spring or in early summers, so that they can be happily adjust in their environment. Okay, and their body, when the winter come, they will have a good length of hairs on their body as well. Understood? Now the second step is washing or scouring. The sheared hair then thoroughly washed in a series of tub having soapy water. You can see there are series of tub which is used to wash this fleece. Understood? Actually, it is very very needed to remove the grease, dust or dirt from the fleece, because if they will stay in the fleece, the quality of fleece will get reduced, and obviously then we can't give a good price for it. Okay, so they are washed in a series of tub with soapy water. The process of washing hair is called scouring. Nowadays scouring is done by machine. You can see this is done by with the help of machine. These hairs are now passed through a series of rollers or dryers. See over here. Okay, so that they can get dry. After drying, there is a need of separating the hairs on the base of their texture, on their length. Okay, so the sorting is done over there. The dried hair are sent to the sorting department where hair of different texture are sorted out. The small and fluffy fire are getting separated. These are called burrs. These are picked out from the hairs, and then it is processed or sent to for the process of carding. You can see over here, carding of wool, or here as well we are having carding process. Okay, the clean and selected wool. After sorting, the clean and selected wool are passed through rollers. These are the rollers, and straighten the fiber and remove the unwanted matter. Over here it is also very important to remove the unwanted matter which is still present in it. The fibers are then scoured again and dried, so that whatever little bit amount of dirt is present over there, that can be get separated. Understood? Form. Next process is dyeing. You can see the person is dyeing the fleece over here. The fabric of the wool which we get from the animal are basically either white in color or brown color or black color. We can't have multiple colors like blue, green. Okay, so that to have these color, we need to dye it properly in color. The fibers are dyed in various color because the natural fleece will only have white, brown or black color, and over there it does not provide us with a good option to choose, so we color them. Now after coloring it, after dyeing it, the next process is spinning. Okay, you can see with the help of this machine, the spinning is done. The fiber are straightened and combed and rolled into yarn. You can see they over here we are having fibers which is now rolled over here into fiber. Okay, thread like structure. Okay, the longer fiber are made into wool for sweaters, and the shorter fibers are spun into yarn to make woolen cloth. Now after when the threads are ready, okay, when fibers of these, okay, then when the threads are ready, the next process is of weaving. See over here, this is the raw, dirty and greasy hair. After scouring, it get clean like this. Then they get carded and they look like a fluffy wool. You can see, and after that over here they are spin together to form this yarn. See, all the type of wool is given over here, the processing, the look after the processing. This is the original hair, it is after washed and clean, then it is after carding, it means they get straightened up, and later on over here they are spun into fibers, okay, to make fabric. Now next process is weaving. You can see this is a cloth which is weaved out from the yarn of wool. Okay, so weaving is what? Weaving means with the help of weaving machine, the pieces of yarn get interlocked at right angle. You can see they are get interlocked at right angle to one another. The woven cloth undergo finishing and carding and chemical finishing so that the color get fastened over there and they can be durable. Understood? Now you can see over here. The next is occupational hazard related to wool industry. Before we proceed in this topic, just understand first what is occupational hazard. If a person is doing any kind of job, they may suffer from certain health problems, health issues. Okay, this health issues are called occupational hazard, which is basically they are having due to they are performing any kind of particular job. Okay, so occupational hazard means danger involving doing a kind of job. So what is the danger involving in wool industry? Actually, the people working in sorting department are at risk because they may get infected from the anthrax bacteria. These bacteria may be present in between the fleece. Okay, the anthrax disease is fatal blood disease. It is also called shorter disease. Why we are calling it shorter's disease? Because it is developing in the people working in sorting department. That is why it is called shorter's disease. Now, wool production in wool. China is at the top in wool production. Okay, it contribute about 20% of the total wool produced in the world. The major wool producing country are Australia, which now surpass the China as well. Okay, at present Australia is the number one in wool production in our industry. Then New Zealand, after Australia, China, New Zealand, United Kingdom, Iran, India, Russia, Argentina. Okay, the place of India in wool production is 10th rank. Okay, in India, sheep are reared in lower Himalayas region, which include Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Haryana, Punjab, and along the parts of Rajasthan and Gujarat. Now, what is wool mark? This is, see over here, you may have seen this type of mark on woolen cloth. Okay, this wool mark is a logo on woolen cloth, and it is symbol of quality to assure that woolen clothes are made from pure wool. Understand, this is the logo which you must have seen in the woolen cloth when you are going to buy it. Okay, it ensured that these wools are from natural source. It means they have been collected from the animals. They are not synthetic type. Okay, this logo is assigned by International Wool Secretariat and established in North Yorkshire, United Kingdom. Okay, now we will learn about silk. Okay, silk is a strong but light-weighted fiber. It is having shimmering appearance. It means it gives a little bit shine over there. Okay, silken cloth give you shine. The silken fibers are obtained from the cocoon of silkworm. So silkworm is a animal. So we can say the silk is animal fiber. Okay, silk is obtained from cocoon of silkworm, so it is animal fiber. Silk fiber is formed of two proteins. The first one is sericin and the second one is fibroin. Sericin and fibroin together form silk thread. Okay, these protein make the fiber shiny and lustrous. The rearing of silk moth for obtaining silk is known as sericulture. The branch of science which deal with the rearing of silkworm is known as sericulture. Okay, now about discovery of silk. Silk was first developed in China. Silk was firstly recognized in China. According to legend, in 3000 BC, the bride of Chinese Emperor Hunangdi named Shi Shungshi developed the first silk reel. It was kept closely as a guarded secret for hundreds of years, because they prefer to have different kind of cloth and designs. Okay, so this was an achievement for her. So this type of cloth and the method of obtaining it was kept a secret for a very long period of time. Knowledge of making silk has been reached to India in only AD 300 through traders and travelers. Silk moth were also traded to European countries, but they cannot survive over there because of the different climatical condition. Okay, every organism need a proper climatical condition to grow, and over there the weather was very cold. That is why they were not able to survive over there. However, in Italy become silk center for western country of Europe. China is leading silk producing country till now. Other major silk producing countries are Japan, India, and Italy. Okay, now sources of silk. Silk is obtained from silkworm. Okay, the best quality of silk is obtained from the cocoon of silk moth, Bombyx mori. It is a caterpillar feed on the leaves of mulberry tree. The variety of silk moth is cultivated in China and mountain regions of northern India. Actually, this is the this is the life cycle of silkworm. Okay, see over here, this is the caterpillar stage and this is the cocoon stage. From this cocoon stage we are getting the silk. From this cocoon stage here, from this stage we are getting the silk. Understood? Bombyx mori is one of the silkworm which give you best quality of silk. Wild silk like tussar is obtained from again different kind of silk moth that feed on oak tree. Oak tree grow widely in India and China. And Bombyx mori feed on mulberry tree leaves. Okay, now Munga silk is obtained from another wild variety of silk moth found in Brahmaputra valley. There are these are the different kind of silk worm. Now see over here in knowledge desk. Silk is the strongest and of all the natural fiber. It is even stronger than this fiber of same thickness of steel. Okay, a female moth lay about 500 eggs at a time. Larva that hatches from the egg are called caterpillar. See, this is what the caterpillar look like. This is the caterpillar. Larva that come out from the egg is caterpillar. Caterpillar grow about for 5 to 6 weeks and then later on it stop feeding. After that it started to spin silk fiber around its body. The cocoon formed of single continuous thread which is about 1.5 kilometer long. Means one cocoon provide you a thread of 1.5 kilometer long. Okay, silk thread has been given by one cocoon, that is the length of the thread is 1.5 kilometer. Now let's see about life cycle of silkworm. This is the life cycle of silkworm. This is the adult silkworm which lay egg. Later on, from hatching of these egg, caterpillar emerge out. The caterpillar feed on leaves and then after feeding for 5 to 6 weeks it stopped feeding and it started to secrete this type of fibrous substance around its body which later convert into cocoon. And if the larva inside the cocoon get matured, they will crack the egg and they will emerge out like this in the form of adult. Understood? A female silk moth lay hundreds of eggs. This female silk moth lay hundreds of eggs together, about approximately 500. And the larva when hatches out from the egg is obviously called caterpillar. This caterpillar come out from the egg earlier because the nutrient material which was stored in the egg was kind of low. So to further growth they need to come out from the egg. Okay, and this larva do not have any resemblance with the adult one. See, the body shape of these two are quite different. They are not having any kind of similar structure. That is why it is called larva. This larva obviously it has come out from the egg because of lack of nutrition. Then they will start feeding on the leaves of the tree on which it is growing. When the caterpillar is ready to enter pupa stage, it stop feeding and its salivary gland secrete a saliva. This saliva was fluid in nature, but once it come in contact with the air, it become hardened, okay, and take a shape of fiber. This fiber is made up of fibroin protein, which covered around this caterpillar, which has already entered into the pupa stage like this. It get covered around the body of the pupa, okay, and then later on, after forming the complete cover, it will look like this. It is cocoon. Okay, this cover is called cocoon. Cocoon is a ball shape and is formed of silk fiber. Okay, and further on, if this pupa get developed inside this cocoon, what will happen? This cocoon will get broken up. Okay, and over here you can see the adult silkworm is coming out from the cocoon. And in this, you can see in this picture that this is the cocoon, and if we are cutting this cocoon to have a look inside, this will be the inside resting pupa. Understood the life cycle of silkworm? Eggs has been laid by the matured silkworm, then it has broken down, and later on larva, that is caterpillar, will come out of it, and the caterpillar will get enter into the pupa stage. Later on, this pupa will get converted into cocoon stage, means covering will be formed around the pupa, and then later on it will come out from this cocoon, and this is the adult silk moth. Okay. Next is from cocoon to silk. That we will study in our next video. Until then, have a nice day everyone.